Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome, good people out there. Welcome to GFC Radio Show. If you're listening now, you're logged on to www.blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show. We got a good show lined up for y'all tonight. We're going to talk about Black History Month and is it necessary? Why or why not? I'm going to introduce the co-host tonight. Y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny Day.
All right.
I think Dane on the line. Oh no, he's not online. I lost him by accident.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully he'll call back. He'll definitely call back. Willie will call in a few as well. We'd like to welcome y'all to the show tonight. If you accept all calls starting immediately, 657-383-1155. Call us. Let us know how you feel about the topic tonight. Sonny, I'm trying. The reason why I'm stumbling because I was trying to think of the merch website. I can't think of it right now.
Okay, but before I get to the merch, if you guys want to tweet us throughout the show at GFT Radio, and definitely go cop the merch, GFT Radio. Oh no, wait a minute. See now, I know I've been drinking a little bit too much. I apologize, guys. Go to teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. Copy y'all some merchandise. If you get our merchandise, go on our Instagram page or go on your Instagram and tag GFT Radio in that post. We can see that you guys love us enough to share our merchandise. Shout out to Jarrell from Podcast Brothers. He did hit us up. He copped the T-shirt. We definitely got to cop one of his. But thank you for sharing it with us and going on our page and letting us know that you did cop our merchandise. Thank you guys for supporting those who have currently supported. But Clint, hold on. I believe Damon is calling in on the call line. So let me grab him in before we start.
All right, no problem.
Dane, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
What's going on, good brother?
Just calling a radio show to you good people.
All right, well, let's get to it. I came up, well, as we all know, it's February, Black History Month. And, you know, it's been a lot of debate. I had a lot of different discussions, plenty of people in person and online about the relevance of Black History Month and is it still needed. First, I want to get to the origin of it and who started it. It was created by Carter G. Woodson, you know, a well-known black historian. It actually started out as Negro History Week back in, I believe it was 26, excuse me.
On our Facebook page, too.
Yeah, it was the precursor to black. It was created in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. And it was originally the second week of February because it wanted to coincide with the birthday of Abraham Lincoln, whose birthday is on the 12th, and Frederick Douglass, whose birthday
1926.
Yeah, whose birthday was yesterday, February 14th. It initially was a lukewarm process. You know, it wasn't really. It took decades for it to get widely accepted, so to speak. You know, but Carter G. Woodson had a real good reason for starting it. You know, I mean, one of his quotes. I wanted to read one of his quotes. It says, "If a race has no history, it has no worthwhile tradition. It becomes a negligible factor in the thought of the world, and it stands in danger of being exterminated. The American Indian left no continuous record. He did not appreciate the value of tradition. And where is he today? The Hebrew keenly appreciated the value of tradition, as it is attested by the Bible itself. In spite of worldwide persecutions, therefore, he is a great factor in our civilization." So, you know, what his intention was, you know, he wanted black people to have some history and know our history. So from that aspect, you know, I respected it, you know, because we need to know our history, and it starts way before slavery and therefore. Hold on, I think we got another caller. Willie is calling me. Let me get him in here real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Willie should be on the line now.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles. How y'all doing?
All right. So we just talked leaving.
You said what's that?
I said we were just discussing the origins of Black History Month, how it started with Negro history.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
so
carry on.
So it went from that, then over the decades, like I was saying, it got more popular, and Black History Month was the whole month. It was proposed by Black educators and the Black United Students at Kent State University in February 1969. The first celebration of Black History Month took place at Kent State 1 year later, from February 1st, 1970 to February 28th, 1970. 6 years later, Black History Month was celebrated all across the country in educational institutions, centers, Black coaching community centers, both great and small. When President Gerald Ford recognized Black History Month during the celebration of the United States bicentennial, he urged Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. So that's when it became Black History Month, and finally in 1970. So, that's the origin. It's been over the years, there's been plenty of criticism about it as well. It starts to end, like I said, each year I had the same debate on whether it's relevant or not, whether are we shortchanging ourselves, only limited to a month. You have other people saying, well, Black history is also American history. You have those of us who say, well, Black history is world history. Like we're the original man. So, like, history starts with us. So we shouldn't just limit ourselves to Black Month. And then it also becomes hero worship. Each month, Black History, we talk about the same main characters: Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Thurgood Marshall, and a few others. And we really don't get in depth of our history. You know what I mean? We sort of shortchange ourselves. So I want to throw it to Sonny, see what you think. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, here's my thought on that. I feel like every heritage has their own month, and Black history is among one of those. Even though Black history is American history, and I absolutely agree with. I know Morgan Freeman came out and spoke about that. I agree that it is American history, but at the end of the day, this is our month to honor the people that have developed and changed or made history in the course of a lifetime. Like they created history. So we should honor them in this month. I know it's just people get mad and say it's the shortest month, but I feel like it doesn't matter whether it's the shortest month or the longest month. We should honor our history regardless, because every heritage has a month. Latin heritage has a month. Jewish heritage has a month. White and Black history have a month. Granted, yes, we are the glue that held the American fabric together, but why would we have our own month to celebrate us and be just about us? Why not? And I think it's a month that we should be educating people regardless, but this is our month to really get our kids educated on. It's not just Martin Luther King. It's not just Malcolm X. It's not just Rosa Parks. It's not just Thurgood Marshall. There's so many others that have made history. Like even now, we've just made history in the last Grammys. First Black. Like we're still making first. So this is history. So why wouldn't we want to highlight this month and learn, like whether, and I agree we should be learning it year round, but even whether it's year round or for this month, we should be saying that we learned something new about our history. We should just know our history. We should know where we come from. We should know who did what. It's not just these people are, it's not just white people creating things. It's not just Jewish people creating things. It's not just Latin people creating things. It's Black people that are first at doing things and creating things to benefit our everyday life currently. Like if you Google first inventors, you're going to see a lot of Black people on it. But if you don't do that, you won't know it. So I think it's important that we have this month, whether it's 365, to learn about we should always want to know about where we come from and who our people are. and what we've accomplished.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah, so my take on it is pretty similar to Sonny's. You know, I feel like the month itself was put in place in order to recognize, bring out, and allow us to celebrate these black figures, black events, black culture. You know, there's a lot of aspects to Black History Month, and the reasons that we celebrate and the reasons that we observe and recognize are twofold. One, it's to educate ourselves, but also to educate the world. The thing about Black History Month is that we're not here as a result of our own doing, right? So, of course, we have been pivotal in the growth and the enhancements of the United States. The thing is, though, too, is that without Black History Month, without some of the injections of the celebration of Black history, Black heritage, without that, this country would have continued to forget the things that we've done and things that we've accomplished. You know, the fact of the matter is that without Black History Month, there would have been less knowledge about the inventors, about the political figures, about the social figures in history, without Black History Month there to keep that in the public's eye and keep that into America's eye. You know what I mean? So the thing is that, you know, is it relevant? I think it's always going to be relevant, regardless if we do it a month, if we do it all year long. Of course, I feel like we should do it all year long. And, of course, we should celebrate Black history, you know, as a part of American history 24/7, 365, because their history is going to be told. His history is written by the victors, right? You know, we didn't lose, but the thing is that we also aren't the victors. The victors are the colonizers and the oppressors who decided on what to report and what to give out in the history books. And in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the educators recognized that was a problem, and they recognized that this was the right injection and the right method to introduce that and to say there's more to history than just what's in these books. You know, and unfortunately, all the books still aren't perfect. You know, and I get your point about, you know, the Harriet Tubmans and the Martin Luther Kings and the safe the safe history that they like to push all the time. But the thing is that for years, for decades, people have pushed the envelope on what else to report and what else to recognize and what else to put out there. You know, it takes people like us, the bloggers. It takes people like, the revolutionary teachers who put into kids' minds, I don't want to see any reports on this person or that person. I mean, my kids at their school, they go to a school that's mixed, and their teachers tell them, hey, you know, Martin Luther King is great, but you need to report on something else. They're not allowed to report on Martin Luther King. They're not allowed to report on Harriet Tubman or Frederick Douglass. They have to find new and more interesting people to report on during this month, as well as the fact that, you know, we have a duty, a journalistic duty, a historic duty, you know, when we put information out there all year long to recognize that. You know, nobody's stopping us. Nobody's saying it's against the law to not celebrate blackness 365. It's up to us to do it. It's our responsibility. And taking away or putting into place timelines shouldn't stop that, and it shouldn't detract from it either. So I feel like it's very relevant. It was needed. It was, you know, is it needed now? I still think it is, because I mean we haven't won. We've made progress, but we haven't won anything. We haven't jumped over any major hurdles. We still got Black Lives Matter out there as a statement in 2018. That's a problem. If for us to have to say and have to state that our lives matter, that's a problem, and it's something that we can't stop, you know, not recognizing. We can't stop putting out there. We're just as smart as, if not smarter, than everybody else that's out here. We're just as innovative. We're just as important. So we have to keep putting it in the forefront. We may be only 17 or 18% of this country. We're actually not even the largest minority anymore in this country.
Nope, Hispanic.
You know, so exactly. So, you know, we have to continue to recognize. We have to continue to put it out there. And like Sonny said, you know, I mean, a lot of these other cultures, they have their months and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is they're fighting for the same thing. They're fighting for recognition. They're fighting for survival, because we're all in this fight together. You know what I mean? Not always together. You know, we all don't recognize each other's issues, but we're all together in the fact that we're all fighting for the same thing. We all have the same goals in mind, and we have to continue to recognize that. So I think it's completely important. Go ahead.
Hold on, guys. We got a caller.
All right.
All right, hold on.
After the call, I want Damon. I want to hear Damon.
Okay.
Take on it.
All right, hold on. Caller, you on the air?
Yes, how y'all doing tonight?
What's going on, brother?
Doing pretty good, man. So my name is Willie Taylor. I'm calling, and I just wanted to say that I do enjoy your show, you know, from what I've heard about it, and, you know, definitely enjoy the topics. And as far as the topic tonight, I like to say that I definitely think that Black History Month is necessary. I think that probably necessary now more than ever. I mean, years ago, I mean, it was for specific reasons, but I kind of feel like today there's a lot of people that still are trying to, you know, they're trying to find out who they are. I don't feel like enough people are still concerned enough about it. And it's just like, you know, there's a lot of people piggybacking off different causes like Black Lives Matter and things like that for their own reasons, but I don't know if the concern is as genuine as maybe it is for the people sitting here tonight. And I think that, you know, the month itself is just like it's symbolistic to a lot of different things. And I think that as far as just teaching it, I kind of feel like when we are teaching different things, I feel like we got to learn to do it in a way that's not demeaning, because I kind of feel like when we try to educate our people, sometimes we can have the tendency of just kind of like acting like we're better or different things like that. And I just think that there's another way to go about it. But I think that there's, like I said before, the month is definitely necessary, and you know, there's just a lot more to it.
Definitely. I definitely agree. That's a good point. I agree that the way that it's being taught, that's my issue with it. I think to me, it's been gentrified. I think we all, Sonny spoke on it, Willie spoke on it as well. I want to hear Damon's thoughts in a second. But I feel like, you know, as time goes on, we learn more. You feel me? I felt like when it was first the inception of it, it was more so like in the baby stages when it first started. So they just wanted us to know certain things. And so as time went on, they just focused on key people over time. And it just, in my opinion, it just stuck on those key people. And I feel like nowadays they need to be more expanded. It's like it's too much knowledge, it's too much information now, and there's so much information that I've learned outside of school. That's like, wow, why didn't I learn that in school? You know what I mean?
Right.
So even when it comes to slavery and stuff like that, like for instance, most people think most slaves came to America or the United States, and that's false. You know, most slaves went to Brazil and stuff like South America. That's why you got so many dark-skinned Hispanics and South Americans like that, because most of their ancestries are from Africa, stuff like that.
Right.
So, you know, you don't that stuff like that isn't even taught in school. You know what I mean? They just tell us, you know, nowadays they even trying to change the narrative of slavery. They're trying to turn it into indentured servants. That's why I feel like it's up to us as Black people to control the narrative now. You know, we let them, I think we let them, other cultures take over the narrative from us.
Right. And I agree with that.
You want to say that?
Like, oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, you know, like Sarita said earlier, I mean, it's just, you know, every culture has their own month and, you know, different times of the year where they focus on things. And I don't think you should have to go to an HBCU to, you know, be able to further education on something. You know, there's a lot of people that are interested in it nationally. There's some people that are trying to piggyback off the cause. But again, I think that, the month is definitely necessary because even the same issues that we were facing years ago, I mean, we're still kind of like, it's still kind of going down the same path. And I think that there's a lot of people that will not only appreciate it, but are definitely interested in it. Like personally, me, if you look at my family, like probably past my grandmother, great-grandmother, like you can't research the history, So, just any little piece of information, I kind of feel like people are craving that are genuinely concerned with it.
Dope. Damon?
Yeah.
Okay,
Black History Month.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, make sure I was unmuted. Yeah. Black History Month is much needed, more now than ever. I think that it needs to start at home, for one, as parents, educators, to teach our young ones, the next generation. No, Black history just didn't start with slavery of us coming over in a boat. And our history doesn't start there. We need to do research to go back further to see where our roots start at. We started off, as a beautiful, artistic people with beautiful music and rhythm and art. Now, I think that the whole idea and focus is being taken away from Black History Month, and people are getting away from the meaning of how it all started. Yes, it's great that we need the Black History Month, but as everybody said, that we need to go out further and do more research. And that's when educators, like teachers, the education system needs to step up this game and not just teach how American history or other European history started. It's mostly throughout the school year, except for February, it's all European history and not American history, not Hispanics, not blacks. It's just all European history up for that 1 month. So they need to step up their game as well as to make a new syllabus for the school year to teach how not just blacks, Hispanics, and other cultures have helped develop this land that we live in now. Because it's not just through this Wright brothers who flew a freaking airplane over North Carolina. It's not just because a black man grew a peanut in a field one day. It's not about the black guy who even at the stoplight. No, there's other factors and other individuals who've developed and helped in this land to develop this country. Like Thomas Edison might have had the light bulb, but there's a black guy who expounded on that light bulb and made it better, long-lasting, and brighter. A lot of people don't know about that. That's when that education needs to go into play.
That's just it. I mean, you have the...
Well, actually, Thomas Edison didn't even do the light bulb. He had Louis Latimer helping him with that.
Yep. Yeah. And that's what makes the month that much more necessary because, change takes time. And, when you have months like these, it kind of bridges the gap where it's like until that time where that's in the history books and or if it ever is, it makes it that much more necessary because it kind of like bridges that gap until people change or they feel that it's necessary, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of how I feel about that.
I appreciate that. One of my things is, and I mentioned it already, is us controlling the narrative, taking control of the narrative again. And I feel like the problem with that is most black people really don't take their history serious enough. And I believe is the reason why is because we only limit it to a month. It's like that's the only time we highlighted Black history is during the beginning of the year, February, and then after that, we really don't talk to our kids. A lot of people really don't day-to-day talk about our history amongst ourselves.
That's why you have to.
As far as exactly, and that's my thing with it. It's like, we need to get into our mind. We got to take more pride in our history. You feel me? Because if we don't, like the brother Carter G. Woodson said in that quote, if we don't document our history, they're going to tell our story, and they're going to leave us out.
Yeah, you see what they did with that Nefertiti?
Yeah, you see what exactly.
They did that, and like there was no way she was a white woman, but you see what they did, and that's the story that they want to tell people that she was a white person. Like no,
that pissed me off so bad because it was a black woman standing there. You feel me? It's like I couldn't have been on. I understand she had a job to do, but me personally, I would have lost my job. I was talking to a friend of mine online, and we was talking about it. He was like, bro, they would have had to cut the commercial once he would have unveiled that. I would have punched that thing in the face. I swear to God. Because to me, that was.
She just kept saying, "Wow."
Yeah, but that's not enough. You know what I mean? Because they don't understand what they're doing. Like that's deep. That's ingrained into the minds. Like that's total disrespect of our history. Like that's a slap in our face. That's a middle finger. You know what I mean? That's real disrespect. You feel me? That's worse than somebody calling you a nigger. That's worse than him just getting up there, all you niggers. Like, he really's like, man, fuck y'all history. This is it. This white lady. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You feel me? That's basically what he was saying. Fuck y'all history. Fuck them black people didn't exist. That's what basically he was saying. When they say Egypt, it's not even Egypt. It wasn't even called Egypt. It's called Kemet. Like, that's a whole different story. Like, they take your language. Once they take their language from you, they take your culture. You feel me? Because every culture has a language. So once they take that from you and start naming it what they want to name it, showing images of you how they want to show it, you feel me? That's total disrespect. And, like, we allow that to happen. You feel me? We got to take accountability and responsibility in that because we allow that to happen. That's why it kind of irks my soul. That's why it kind of hurts my soul.
That definitely shocked me. I understood. Like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but when I seen that, I knew that Holder was like, "What the fuck?" in her mind. But at the same time, I understood why she didn't say anything because she just got that job. Like, she's still on the 90-day that you get fired type of shit. But I know when she went home, she felt some kind of way. And that's where, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, a lot of people expected her to say something. And, as much as I would have wanted her to say something, I knew why she didn't. Because the predicament she was in, she just got a prime-time job and probably got way paid than what she's been getting paid.
But
and to lose
that's what it would have made it more something. What would have made it mean more to us. You see that? And that's why I don't celebrate, the black first. Like you said, you mentioned that earlier. I wanted to get to that as well. When we always keep celebrating the first black to do this, the first black to do that. Like, we got to stop that too. You know what I mean? Like, because we minimalize and marginalize, especially when it comes to.
I don't think
it's minimalized.
I think that's where we differ. I don't think we're minimizing it. I think that in the year 2018, the fact that we're still making first black, that's terrible. But at the same time, they're making history. You see what I'm saying?
Like, what is history? Like, what
because
you feel me? Like a movie, or like somebody winning an award, a Grammy. That's not helping us. Like, that's a personal.
At the same time, it's the same thing as we got our first black president. Like, a lot of people didn't like him, but at the end of the day, that was our first black president. So, like, and like I said, like in the years forward, moving forward, the fact that we're still making first is problematic because we've accomplished so much since the Civil Rights Movement, and that the fact that we're still making first in 2018 up to current, that's sad. But at the same time, it's making history. So how can we not celebrate history? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I want to definitely pick you back on that because the thing is that what Sonny's saying is that not only is it problematic, it's showing how problematic this is to the rest of the world. That's the main point of this, is that we can't stop celebrating first because if you don't recognize the fact that you're still making that stride and you're still taking that place, is the fact that you won't be putting into the minds of those outsiders to make them realize there's still a problem. There's still a shortcoming here. There's still a deficiency of these, either the programs, the way things are being ran, the way things are being accomplished, is that we still have an issue that we're not being allowed to do the things that we need to be able to do, or that everybody else is allowed to do when we're part of this country too. That's the problem with having to say we're the first somebody to do this or somebody to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that being able to say that they're the first person in general is even more important, and that's why if you guys watch the movie Hidden Figures, and I think what was her name, Dorothy Johnson, and she made reference to the fact that she's not the first black woman to design a nuclear ship or a ship engine. She was the first person to do it in general, not the first woman, not the first black person. She was the first human being to do it completely. Nobody had ever done it before. She innovated that. She created that. It was something that nobody else was able to accomplish. So, but you still have to recognize the fact that.
But what year was that? See, this is what I'm saying about that.
That was in the 60s. In the 60s.
Okay. So when you talking about the 60s and stuff back then, cool. What I'm talking about now is when we talking about we the first to do this, like win a Grammy or win an award or something like that. To me, that means nothing, because that's still us trying to assimilate into their culture. Why does being the first to do something and their culture should mean something more to us than it mean more to us than?
But why is that their culture if it's something that we have been building and growing for decades and centuries? I mean, entertainment is not their culture. It's our culture.
When you say the Grammys, like when you say first, why do we care about the Grammys?
It's not about caring about the Grammys. It's not about caring about the Grammys. That's right. Exactly. The thing is you have to be recognized, and you have to be put into by anybody who respects the craft, right? And the thing is that if we can gain respect by others of what we're doing, that's still good. It's not bad. It's not taking it away from us. It's not taking anything away from us, and especially if we can do it our own way. We don't have to shuck and jive because they want us to shuck and jive. That's not what we're saying. And we're not saying that that's what we're trying to accomplish. We're saying that if we can stand out and we can do things our own way, then it should be recognized as a good thing. Like I forgot who it was. Oh no, not. And see, that's a separatist thing. The separatist thing.
That's not a separate. I'm not talking about being separate or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about we don't celebrate ourselves. No, I'm not talking about separate. I'm saying, why do we have to look
celebrate ourselves? We celebrate ourselves.
No, because when we talk about like awards from us,
we have an NAACP award. We have a.
Nobody celebrates those. Nobody celebrates those as much as they celebrate. The Grammys is prestigious. When they have excluded us forever.
But it goes back to the culture itself, like the whole purpose of the month itself. Like, Black history is part of world history. It should be recognized, and whether you think that it should or not, that's subjective. But the bottom line is that it is. So of course people are going to want that, and of course people are going to be like, they're going to people that know the history and don't are going to say it should be recognized on a grand scale. Now, you can argue the fact that, isn't necessary and all that stuff like that and whatever, but that's what you're going to have when you have a group of people that, one, don't fully know their history, so they're going to be looking for validation from others, and you're going to also have people that know their history are going to say, well, you know what, this is part of Black history, so we should be part of that. We should be accepted by the masses. It shouldn't just be a Black thing, because it's more than just a Black thing. We're people too. So you're gonna have both dynamics, and they're gonna both they're gonna collide at some point. Like that.
And the thing, and the piggyback off of what the brother just said is that the thing is that it's the grand scale. Like I said, we're a small part of this population in this country. Being a part of something that said, okay, everybody else is going to recognize and everybody else is going to see. Yeah, if you don't want to be seen on that level, that's fine. But a lot of people do, and a lot of people want to be recognized on a world platform and on the world stage and being able to say, look, we are just as important as everybody else.
That's like saying that
you cannot keep.
I'm not saying that pop artists, right? They go out and they get into the pop genre, right? And they want to branch out and be a part of R&B or whatever. They want acceptance from the R&B community, even though that genre is whatever it is. They want to be like all over the globe. They don't want to just be a pop artist. They want to be everything else. Like the same way with black people, we want to be recognized. Period. By people,
right.
we want, like, this is what, like, we're doing
being recognized
like,
by.
I'm going to be like, say if I wanted to be an inventor, I wanted to invent something back in the day when black people couldn't invent things or we weren't acknowledged like that. I want to be an inventor, so I'm going to keep striving at what I'm doing, so I can get the recognition that I deserve. Period. It doesn't matter if I'm black. It's just that I'm good at what I do.
Especially when you influence so much.
And the fact is, the matter is, okay, so I'm black. I'm the first woman at that. So, okay, so not only am I good at what I do, but now I'm being recognized not only because I'm good at what I do, but because I'm the first black person to do it, and that what I've accomplished to get to it. We don't do these things like, I mean, not to sound like, well, I'm not going to say that. Like we do things to make it count. Like, you know what I'm saying? We do it because that's what we love to do. And most people do things because they love to do it. And if they're recognized about it, that's good. Like people go out in the movie industry this because they love music, and they get recognized. Okay, I got recognized. People like the fact of what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a doctor, you're doing good, and you've been doing this, that, and the third, and you've been going hard, and like just doing what you need to do, like just regular. It's your job, and you get recognized by it. You're glad that you're recognized by it. Like people appreciate the work that you do.
Right. And separating us from everybody else just so that we can. Yeah, separating us from everybody else just so we can say that we're separate.
No, so you keep saying separate. That's my nerves right there. You keep saying, I'm not saying separate. No, separate ain't never come out my mouth. What I said was,
what you did, you said separate a couple of times.
No, you said that. I said
separate. Let's just keep.
I said, why do we always look for validation?
Okay, that's right.
I mean, we could play it right.
That's
later.
Separate.
No, that's not separate. I'm talking about looking for loving ourselves. Just because you are telling somebody to love yourself does not mean separate. Understand that. That's two different things. That's two exclusively different things. You feel me? That's why I'm sitting here laughing because I didn't get my point across. When I say appreciate ourselves, like we don't. You know what I mean? And for the simple matter is when we talk about all these other awards shows, we keep naming them the grand scale, the recognized by the masses. When we talk about our own award shows, we don't talk about them being recognized by the masses. We just talking about them as being separate. I'm not talking about them being separate. I'm talking about them being produced and ran by us and shot out to the world. You feel me? Because the world is bigger than just America, the United States. The world is bigger. You know what I mean? The white people aren't even the dominant people. We called ourselves the minority. But, you know what I mean, the so-called minorities outnumber the majority. So when I'm talking about, you know what I mean, loving ourselves, I'm not talking about separating from them. You feel we don't got to separate. I'm talking about valuing us more. Because when we value us more, then they'll value us more. So then we don't have to worry about saying, we're the first to do this. We're the first to do that.
Let me ask you this question, Dan. How does being valued by the world take away from us valuing ourselves? How does that? Because that's what I'm getting from what you're saying.
Because we don't value this. Because we don't value our own. We're not valuing our own. We don't value our own as much as we value validation from other people. You feel me? That's a fact.
No, I don't feel you. I don't feel that. The thing
as a whole, we
do
not validate ourselves as much as we validate getting valid. You know, it's on so many occasions a black person could say something, and then until a white person say it, you feel me? Most black people will be like, "Oh, okay." That's not a true 100%. That's not true across the board. That's not the majority of the time. You know the majority of the time. You know the majority of the time. You know what I mean? We don't. You know what I mean? We don't take ourselves as serious as we do. You know what I mean? We just look how we live, brother. Just look at our communities. Look at our communities.
But look,
you feel me? Just look at the communities. But the communities show
the
it.
thing is, Clint. But Clint, the thing is that if you're saying what you're saying, I understand. I understand your point. I understand your position on that part. The problem I have with it is that if you're saying that devaluing a person who's trying to be recognized on the grand scale because they want people to recognize the fact that we are valuable, we are important.
Devaluing who on the grand scale?
People who go to the Grammys and want to win a Grammy. People who are going to the Oscars and they want to win an Oscar. People who are
I'm not devaluing them at all. I'm not devaluing them. What I'm devaluing is the celebration of that. The celebration of that award. I'm talking about the Grammys, for instance. Like the Grammys, because she mentioned the Grammys. You know what I mean? The Grammys has excluded us forever. So why should we hold value in them when they don't see our value? They never seen our true value in us. So why should we hold any of their awards to high esteem? They don't hold us to high esteem.
Because they are
not. But they're doing that. But Clint, if they're recognizing, but look, listen, Clint, if they're valuing us now, why is that a problem? I don't understand why that's a problem. How is that a problem that we now are getting the recognition? And how is that a problem that we are being recognized? And how is that a problem that we are getting the money, the awards, the this, the that we can go and have a seat at the table and we can do X, Y, Z that, like you said, in the past we've been excluded from. Why is that a problem? I don't understand. What do you want? That's my question. What do you want? You're saying to us to value us more. You're talking to us to do for us more. About not being valued. We don't have to separate.
We love us some more. Because to me, stop caping for them. That's like when you go to a place.
How? Tell me how.
You don't know how to love yourself? Love yourself. You know what I mean? Support your own. Support your own.
You're talking in circles. You're saying support your own, but don't support. But listen. You're saying support your own, but don't support people who want to be supported. You said value yourself, but you don't want people to value themselves when they're getting recognized. You said support your own, but don't support these people that getting money for being in white movies. You said you're talking in circles.
I said the Grammys.
No,
I didn't say
about everything.
I'm saying the Grammys. You feel me? That's like you saying, oh, I can't. That's like for the whole time they banned you.
So what's okay? Let's take the Grammys out the picture. Then. If you take the Grammys out the picture, what happens when people want to be recognized as the top of their craft? And yeah, I understand that we should love ourselves. Everybody wants to love themselves. Everybody should.
Okay, what craft?
But the thing is that
winning awards.
Any craft.
What craft?
What craft you talking about? Any craft.
Now, I mean, because when she said doctor, when she said the doctor, I don't want to be known as the best black doctor. I want to be known as the best doctor.
All right, let's use military, right?
Getting an award that tells everybody that you're the best doctor is what's important, right? So if the award happens to come from,
then I mean that's not what we're talking about.
We're talking about getting recognized by an organization, but we're talking about getting recognized by an organization that says these people are the top of their craft. These people are the top of their of their station. These people are doing things at a level that no one else is doing it at. That bad that they're getting recognized for that. I understand. We were excluded, but now that we are.
But you changing my narrative. You're changing my narrative. I'm saying why is the Grammys the number one? Why is the Grammys the hierarchy? Why is that the number one thing?
What about the military?
But that's why.
What about that?
Because it's been the staple, right? It's been the staple, and it's been
how has it been the staple and it's excluded us for years?
Because it's the staple. It's there.
How is it the staple when it has excluded us for years? It has excluded the best musicians, the top musicians for years.
But
so if it has excluded the best musicians, it can never be the staple.
But apparently it is because we're talking about it. That's what I'm saying. So what are you changing to make that different? That's what I'm saying. What are you going to? How is it going to be changed to make that different? If you say
stop holding the Grammys to that high extent. Stop holding the Grammys to the high extent. Who are you expecting to do that?
Really?
Everybody? Our 17%. Our 17%.
I got a question.
Our 17%. You keep talking about America. The 17%.
That's where we're at. We're in America. We're in America.
What's the number one? What's the number one art? What's the number one in pop culture right now?
We do. We say
okay, that's 17%.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly. That's
17%. If we control the culture, why can't we control why can't we control who's celebrating?
But Clint, guess what's happened? But Clint, guess what's happened? We now control the Grammys. We now control the American Music Awards. We now control. Look who won all the awards. Black people. Black people won all the awards. But you said that's bad. You said, oh no, don't hold us to a high esteem. But we're in there and we're getting the award.
Who controls the Grammys? Because everything I looked at, you could go online. Everybody was complaining about the Grammys. Everybody was saying the Grammys got it wrong.
Well, the Grammys the award shows are always going to get it wrong because somebody's opinion. Everybody's going to say, "Oh, this didn't go my way," and that's it. Look at your country. I mean, voting is never going to be looked at as 100% right ever. No, somebody's going to be mad. Everybody can't win. It's not created for that. We've established that. That's life. Not everybody can win. So somebody's going to be butthurt. Somebody's going to be mad. So it's always going to be somebody's going to get it wrong. It's always going to be that, But the thing is that
they control the narrative
over the years, over the years and over time, things change. Things get either modified, maybe gets better, maybe gets worse. Like our government, we got better, and then all of a sudden we got worse. It wasn't even the best better. It just was a little bit better than before. And now it's worse. Everything doesn't go the same way everybody wants it to, but the thing is that changes.
All right, let me get to my original point of why I said the awards didn't mean nothing. The awards and stuff, celebrating awards, because we done went off on a whole tangent about the Grammy. Well, I said celebrating awards and stuff don't mean nothing because it don't bring value to us. We're still worse off than what we are. We're worse off now than what we were worse off during the civil rights movement as a whole, as a community. You feel me? We have gained no wealth. We feel me? We own nothing. All we have is people out there celebrating accomplishments, individual accomplishments, but as a whole, we're actually worse off financially, as a people, you know what I mean, than we were before the civil rights movement.
See, but the thing is that there's
so what does celebrating first and all that stuff is doing? What is that doing for to help us as a whole? It's doing nothing. We're not building nothing.
It does. It helps a lot. It helps push us further to being able to say we still need to go further. It helps make people recognize that we have to take additional steps. If you say, oh, there's no more first, and everybody just does what they want to do, and we don't have to have black people, do certain things because we should just be doing it for ourselves, and that's great and that's fine. But the thing is that if we don't have a way to measure progress, not accomplishments, but just progress. If we don't have a way to measure progress, how do we know what needs to be changed? How do we know what?
That's what I'm saying. We have made no progress.
How do we know
that? The numbers have pointed it out. Financially, we don't own nothing. Before the civil rights movement, we actually owned things. We had our own. Before integration and all of that, we had stuff. We had our own communities. Now, when you come into the black communities, even in my community, black people rarely own nothing. They own nothing. You feel me? You got the Koreans, you got the Arabs, you got everybody, all these other cultures coming in and doing for themselves in their own community, while us, we're falling further behind. We're not, like you said, we're not even, number one, we're not even the top minority anymore.
Right. But the thing is
you
that
feel me? Like we're worried about the wrong things. When we talk about that's what I'm saying. That's one of my things about history. Like we're worrying about the wrong things. Now, I mean, we need to learn from the past of what worked and what hasn't worked.
But the thing is, Clint, is saying that we're worrying about the wrong things just because somebody says, I want to see who won an award. That's not you're not progressing anything by not worrying about the award. If you still don't go out and try to own something, you're not progressing anything by saying don't patronize this place or that place when you still don't try to own that kind of business, or you don't try to say, okay, look, you have all these places that sell hair care products. Let's put that for an example. And you say, now we have our first black-owned hair care product place in this state or this city or whatever. Can we go over there now and do this since they are the only one? Or if you say, oh, no, we can't have first anymore, then this person is not going to get recognized. Or maybe maybe that's too simple of an example. What I'm saying is there things that has to happen and has to be recognized in order for people to recognize it. If you don't point it out, nobody knows. You're pointing out great examples of problems that we have in this community, in the black community, wealth, ownership.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about.
Right. But the thing is that we're not taking away from that narrative by having a leisure and saying, okay, we need this, or having a recognition and saying we have that. We're not saying that we won just because Bruno Mars won 6 awards. Nobody said we won civil rights because Bruno Mars won 6 awards. Nobody said that. Nobody took that away from us.
We said we won when Barack won president.
No. Yes. Some people thought that, but not everybody.
The majority of black, they hold that man up.
You can't say a majority.
What you talking about?
It's a statement. It was a.
It's not no small segment. It's not no.
You're probably speaking for.
It's a whole bunch of black people.
You're probably speaking for your community. It wasn't my community. My community.
I know that, right? If you want to get your point off, we can't talk over each other because we want the listeners to be able to hear us and not hear us over talking each other. You guys are very passionate about your expression.
We talk over each other every other night.
I know.
We talk to each other every other night.
Shut up. But I'm just saying, like, y'all really passionate, and I want people to hear what y'all saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's no different. We ain't arguing. Ain't no beef.
No, I know. It's a healthy debate
every other night.
Through grown folks. And I absolutely love it. I just want people to hear both sides of what y'all saying. And I like Obama, so we're gonna go with I fuck you, Clint. I love Obama.
Right. And I liked what Obama accomplished. I don't feel like he was the savior. I don't feel like he did something that made a world of difference that, we can measure and say, this is now the whole world has changed. It wasn't. No. Everything we need.
Another symbol.
But the thing is, the thing is, what I recognize is that we also had a problem in our government that was brought out. We had a problem that some people still aren't going to recognize either. We had a problem in our government that was revealed in the fact that it's still not going to respect the black man, and it's still also not going to work together just because the black man's in office. These two factions, these two government factions, the Democrats and the Republicans, they still need some other kind of change because putting a black man in office didn't shake that up. That didn't change one thing.
Can I make an observation?
Is
Dame still on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Hold on,
I was going to make an observation. It's been reports, not sure how true it is, but Obama really wasn't the first black president of the United States. That's been circulating for years and years. What's that?
Go ahead, Damon. I'll put the caller on as soon as you get done.
Okay. Yeah. So it's circulation that Obama's not the first black president. So that goes back to what Sonny was saying about writing our own history to make sure those in charge or those in power don't write our history for us, to make sure we know these facts, because we don't know for a fact that. I'm sorry, I don't want to give you credit with it where you don't deserve it. So
yeah, I didn't deserve that. I'm sorry.
so yeah, but that's one of the narratives, and we see what happened with Obama. I mean, I'm sorry, the Democrats didn't always agree with Obama, the Caucasians, or any other race, and it was like that for the Republicans as well. It was probably some that did try to help out Obama while he was in office, but you saw what he had to deal with to fight to get what he wanted out of Congress. That's why the Constitution said that there should not be a lifetime politician in office. That's all we have now is people back from the 60s, 50s, and 40s still in politics, and they're still in their old racist ways, and that's why nothing can get done is because of the racism, and they're just turning a blind eye except to the color of green.
Exactly. Hold on, guys. I want to get their call in because they've been waiting about almost 10 minutes. Hold on. Did I press the minute? Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. They're coming. Caller, you on the line?
You know, I kept hearing people say "we," and I wonder who this "we" is in the context of what's I'm calling from the Midwest. My name is Mr. P.
Hi, Mr. P.
Fine. But using that word generally as "we" is really a misnomer because all blacks in the United States are not the same. And those who identify as objective black African Americans is not the same as black. I mean, that's just a fact. Blacks in the Northwest, up in Washington State, different from those down in Florida, those in Maine, different from those in Louisiana and Mississippi. And they are different in the economic standings, too. Blacks are doing a whole lot better today than they were doing 50 or 60 years ago across all paradigms. And, of course, you got those that's in these inner cities that's struggling, especially in education. But look at Nigerians. Nigerians are just as black as Wesley Snipes. They have the highest educational attainment of any ethnic groups, including Asians and whites. They have higher household income than whites, and even Asians in some cases. So the question is how is it that these people are doing so well? And I'm not talking about the ones that just come here, even the first and second generation. They need to be looked at. So this paradigm that we talk about, that all blacks is going to be together and stuff, blacks are human beings just like anybody else. There's things that they care for and things that they don't. Of all the male voters, the black male voters that voted in 2016, over 13% of them voted for the present president. That's because they're voting their economic interests. They're voting the changes that they want to see on the issues. And that's the way it fares out. But if there is going to be any, the old cliche of what it takes to be successful in the United States. And by the way, blacks in America are United States citizens. They're not Africans. They're United States citizens. The old cliche still plays out. You get education, you get married, and buy homes in places where your property value is going to appreciate. That's your largest investment, is your house. Redlining is good because it tells you where not to move, where not to send your children. Not saying that there's something wrong with the people that live in red line areas, but it's a bad investment. And of course, we would like to see those who are less fortunate to move ahead. And there are things in place to do that. But blacks make money off of blacks, especially in those school systems. Principals, administration, superintendents paid $350,000, $300,000 a year, where you got blacks that's in the fourth grade that can't read that went through programs like Head Start, which ain't producing what it was sold to be. So that's what I wanted to contribute to the conversation.
No, thank you.
He is very, very,
thank you for calling, brother.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you for calling.
Yeah. And one thing, if I could just piggyback on one thing he mentioned there is the we, and the one thing I always say every show that talks about things and people generalize is that we can't generalize people. We can't generalize and say that everybody wanted certain things or everybody should go a certain way and everybody is doing is living at a certain level, because it's not true. The thing is that we have affluent black people. We have black people that own things. We have black people who don't own things. We have black people who are doing really bad, and we have black people in the middle.
I wanted to make one more comment too before I left.
On the same level, like you said.
And I'm sorry, so sorry I didn't keep to the topic of the show about Black history. Yeah, I think that blacks should have Black history, but the thing is that you're gonna have blacks, and I'm not saying everybody, because your classrooms are so diverse, where you have individuals in your classroom that's from everywhere, you cannot have the study of Black history in public schools in elementary grades like they were, years ago. I have no problem with all black schools, because I have witnessed all black schools that were completely off the charts when it came down to academic performance. But the thing is, nowadays in public schools, they frown on something like that. But yes, I think that blacks should have Black history. They're going to have to support it themselves. They need to write it themselves. They need to make the content, because the content exists. Blacks have a lot of content based on their historical presence on the world, not only just in this country. And they're the ones that need to start getting to the point where you are creating these narratives. This movie, Black Panther, is a stepping stone. It should be taken further than where it is. It should be taken into outer space, where you start having movies on traveling to other parts of the galaxy and coming upon all black nations. The content is there. I wish that the Empire had been like Dallas with J.R. Ewing. I don't know if any of y'all remember that.
Yep.
But there are African Americans that was in the oil business, doing very well, that you could have made a storyline on their lives. And that person is Jake Simmons out of Texas, just like they did with Dallas, just like they've done with Falcon Crest at those times. And I think that would have been, damn good, because you need to see that success. You need to see them building. I was a Donald Trump supporter, and I voted for him. I didn't vote for him because of the antics that he do. I voted for him because of the policies and the issues. Because the policies and the issues is what you're going to have to live with. All that other stuff is a distraction. School choice. A parent needs to be able to put their child where they feel is best for them, and that's going to meet their educational plans. Blacks need that. They need that. If you hit an African-centered school, you should be able to put your child in that African-centered school, and the money follow them so you can pay for the tuition. Teachers in African-centered schools shouldn't be on welfare getting paid under the table now, should they? So anyway, I just want to add that on the issue of Black history.
Appreciate that info, my brother. Appreciate that.
I definitely appreciate that. For calling in.
Yeah, I wanted to speak on the, when we talk about the wealth and some blacks have it, some black, like that's it's always been like that. The point I was making about others doing worse than as a whole, like the divide. You go to you can look this up online and reputable website. I'm on Time Inc. right now. Like the divide between the wealth of the typical black family and the typical white family today is bad. A median black family has just $1,700 in wealth, total assets minus total debt. 30 years ago,
that same family had $6,800 in $6,800 in today's dollars. Latino families at that time had similarly small assets, just $2,000, and also saw a decline over the past 3 decades. So white median household wealth, meanwhile, is significantly higher, $116,800 up from $102,000 over the same period, which means their wealth increased while ours decreased over the past 30 years. You know, that's what I was pointing out. You feel me? And like, that's, to me, this is my personal thing. That's the meat and potatoes. That's the stuff you really got to start focusing on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what you just said.
Because they say by two. Oh, go ahead, brother.
You know what you just said. You also have to look at the other side of the picture. Because blacks, as this is reported, even by black media, are overrepresented in low-paying majors in college. Social work, in services. In engineering, black presence is only 4%. Don't even match their presence in the country, which is about 13%. You at least should match your presence in the country.
At my job. Yeah, I go to these meetings at my job. It's basically what you would consider like the IT department. Like what we do is strategize about our timekeeping system, right? We explain how to better it, how to improve it, what the problems are, how to fix them, and all that stuff. When I go to those meetings, it's like 2 black folks, a whole bunch of Indians, and a few white folks.
Absolutely.
Like we need, and absolutely, I agree. We need to look at better job options. We got to look at these IT jobs. They pay a lot of money. Like those computer programmers, and all the people, they get paid a lot of money. But when you look at them, they're normally Indian people or white people. And like we gotta want better than
Indians.
Also talk about creating your own business.
That's another reason why I supported Donald Trump, because he said immigrants that's here on work visas, like Indians and others, when your visa expires, you got to go home. We need to train Americans for those jobs. Need to train African Americans, young people, get them prepared for those jobs.
A lot of jobs don't train anymore. That's one of the biggest problems. A lot of jobs don't like to pay to train people. They want people to come on and already know what to do.
It should be done. It should be done in your schools. It should be done in your historical. See, here's the thing. One of the reasons why your historical black.
But then you got people like I work in HR, so you get people that go to school, right, for a profession. They go to school for this specific profession, and people don't want them because they don't have experience. Even though they spent about 6 years in school to learn this profession, but they can't work in it because they don't have the experience.
Well, let me show you how you go about getting that experience.
Yeah, internships.
First place,
like
things like school choice, as I mentioned earlier, where parents can put their children in the environments that they want them to be in. And it could be to follow the line of work that you're in. One of the reasons why that historical black universities and colleges have such a difficult time because the students aren't prepared for the rigors of college. You know, we go to these schools and we are given these accolades. You know, heck, they have a big celebration when kids graduate from preschool, when they graduate from kindergarten, graduate from middle school, have them decked out in tuxes and dresses, and even have chauffeurs for them sometimes, limousines. But when those kids come out of high school, they are assumed that they are doing very well. But when you hit college, it's a whole different ballpark. They have to be prepared for that. And then they can come out with that experience. Now, at the same time, blacks have to have businesses that's competing against the ones that they're working for. You know, at some point in time, when you're working for a company for 20 years, you are actually running a smaller business of the bigger business with that experience that you have. Come out and start your own business and hire your own young people. That way they will have that experience. And there's a website. It's called Black Enterprise. Black Enterprise Top 100. and you see the top 100 black businesses in this country. In the top 20, you got 6 of them that's in automotive and 6 of them that's in food service. And I understand that a black woman in Atlanta won a contract that was worth $256 million to supply food packets for the people that experienced the hurricane in Puerto Rico. Well, she had to utilize one of those businesses that's in food service that's already presently up and running in Atlanta. I say in order to make that happen, you don't necessarily have to go out and do the one, me two, me three. In all cases, you can build off of these businesses that's in that top 100 because they range from all different sorts of categories, including IT. So just do the research.
Factor.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that, So we have to start our own business, hire our own. That's there's so many different levels to it. It's going to take more than one way to skin the cat. You feel me? You got to attack from all angles: education, owning your own business, supporting your own, and a host of other things. Because they got it projected by 2053. Like the average, that's just 10 years after the country is projected to become majority non-white, the black median families will own zero wealth if the current trend continues. You know what I mean? Even those black and Latino families who achieve the traditional markers of middle-class life, a good-paying job and a college degree, still lag far behind their white counterparts in terms of wealth. In fact, they own less wealth than a white family whose head has just a high school diploma. You know what I mean? So, education and, them degrees, they mean something, but they also...
Whites going to take care of their own.
Yeah, exactly.
Nigerians going to take care of their own, too. Right? Nigerians ain't going to teach your children how to take power from there. You got to do that yourself. These are Mideasterners in your community that's controlling the gasoline, and they got confectionery, convenience
goods.
Latin
Americans, like you see that they carpool, they help each other. I think the problem with us as black folks, we don't help each other because you see Puerto Rican people, they get out of the car within a couple of them in one car, and they all give each other rides to work. They help each other out, and I think as a community we need to help each other out to succeed because we don't trust each other in certain situations.
Well, I want to correct you on that because, and go back to Willie correcting me earlier, and the sir corrected me, because we all stand to be corrected, is we can't all, because you support my business.
Yeah, I absolutely do.
You know what I mean?
Let me
people support both my businesses.
Let me make a comment on that.
There has to be a line of professionalism because let's be honest about this. Every black business is not professional. So,
right.
And I've experienced this.
Oh, now you want to make flip sides?
No, because
every business is not professional.
Let me give you a reason why I'm saying this before you try to assassinate me. Let me tell you the reason why I said this, right? So I'm planning my best friend's baby shower. Everybody I hit up was a black-owned business. And not only was it a black-owned business, it was a business that just was starting out. And I'm trying to give you business. You know how I am, Clint. I'm all about helping out people that's starting out and trying to get themselves established. So I can say that this person did a good job for me. Y'all need to get them and hit them up because they do a good job. So I'm all about that, Clint. And you know me well enough to know that I'm like that. So we went to hit up one person. The whole attitude was not business-like. Matter of fact, I hit up an event planner. Her attitude was completely different. It wasn't business-like. And the way she was talking, it was she was talking to somebody out on the street corner. No. I'm trying to put money in your pockets, but I need you to be business-like. I don't want you to be like somebody off the street. I'm talking to you, trying to put money in your pocket. So, I'm all for supporting black businesses, but you got to come correct. You can't come half-assed and not be, explaining shit. Because if I ask you something, I'm asking because I don't know, and I need you to explain it to me. Don't talk to me like I'm somebody on the corner. So I need you, you know what I'm saying? And
Did you tell her that, actually?
No, and I was like, I basically said, this is how you lose business. You can't talk to me like that. You want me to spend money with you, but you can't talk to me like that. Like, and then I went.
Well,
with
let me tell
else.
you. Let me tell you who that togetherness is.
I went with another black person.
That's
though,
you.
But,
Let me tell you this. That togetherness is you and several other people where y'all got the same agenda and you're thinking alike on something. That's that's your togetherness. Let me tell you what white supremacy is. I hear people talking about white supremacy all the time. They don't know what the hell they talking about. White supremacy ain't got nothing to do with white folks thinking that they better. Because we know that's not true. I mean, you look at sports and everything else. White supremacy is this. When you look at the face behind communication, financing and banking, offshore oil well drilling, equity financing, sanctions and boycotts, the most of the time, the face behind those entities are whites. But guess what? They can be defeated when you compete against them. It happens all the time. Whites don't control the garment industries anymore, now do they? Look at the back of your T-shirt. Where is it made at? It's not made in the United States no more. Look at your furniture in your bedroom. It's not made in North Carolina and South Carolina like it used to be. It's made elsewhere. Nigerians control about 20% of the offshore oil well drilling in the world. Whites don't control all of it. They don't control shipbuilding no more like they once did. With the advent of this revolution that we call today, this industrial revolution that we call today, with computers and broadband and so on, IT, that has effectively leveled the playing field, but also it has brought a lot of more competition into the game. Look at what cryptocurrency is doing, Bitcoins and the other ones. So we have to be involved in all those things and learn these things in order to generate wealth. You have to ask people who's done this, because more than likely they're always anxious to tell somebody. But what makes it mad for them is when they come and try to tell you how they made it, and it's not per the game plan. Like we talk about these schools. These schools are terrible. And you go to try to change them, you're going to have to do some fighting with people that look just like you, because they're making money off of this. They're making wages and salary, pensions and benefits, retirement, all for black kids. So, no, you just got to find what you want to do, find like-minded people, and see, that's going to be multiplied hundreds of times. It's not thousands of times. And sooner or later, you have your paradigm. By going into a restaurant that's selling chicken dinners that's black, that's not really supporting that black business. If you want to support that business, you got to grow the chickens. You got to process the chickens. You got to warehouse and store the chickens. You got to have a transportation system to take the chicken to where it's going to be needed. That's supporting the black business.
Preach.
Facts. Well, people, we got 10 minutes left. So I want everybody to give their last thoughts before we go and close out the show. We start with you, Sonny.
We should definitely celebrate Black History Month. It is absolutely necessary. We should absolutely and learn and encourage our children or educate our children on learning about their history 365. The month is significant. It still should remain, but we should always encourage to learn about who we are as a people 365.
Really?
Totally agree with that, as well as and as well as I want to add that I think we should be personally responsible for pushing our communities and pushing the people the children that are coming up to get involved in things other than just entertainment or other than just certain things that don't progress. Just like Mr. P was just saying, we have to to learn to own things. We have to learn to be in this digital industrial revolution that's going on. We have to be involved in so many things. But we have to put that in front of the people in our communities. We can't, expect them to just fall in their laps because the powers that be aren't pushing it out like that. People are building this wealth for themselves. So, to kind of agree with what Clint was saying earlier is that we have to learn how to have ownership as a community and take our community forward. Not just for our family or ourselves, but for everybody that's involved. Because as a people, we can be stronger that way.
Okay.
Yeah, embrace and enjoy Black History Month. Learn much as you can from whatever they teach you. Also, go on your own and look up other individuals who have shaped this land and shaped this country for the better. And also, we need to probably push forward the education system to teach Black history, also other history-making individuals unilaterally, not just all about the presidents and the Caucasians and whoever started this land for their own agenda, because it is important to know that everybody equally has made this melting pot of America what it is today as a culture of people, not just race.
All right, thank you. Is the other brother Wayne still on the line?
No, we lost that call.
Okay. Well, I basically agree with all y'all. I believe, I just think you need to take over the narrative of Black History Month and expand on it and get deeper as far as, like Damon mentioned earlier, which I agree with him, is like, talk about different people that actually shaped, this country outside of the normal ones we really talk about and the day-to-day, the ways of
That's why you need to go to our website.
I'm talking about as a whole, not just talking about us on the phone.
I know, but I'm saying we share different people.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about in school though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about those that listeners out there. Teach your kids. Everybody don't go to our website. Everybody don't. Like Willie said earlier. It's up to us, the bloggers and all of that, to get that information out there. You feel me? Mm-hmm. But, we need to do it on a wider scale. You feel me? Like the brother said, our educational system sucks. You feel me? We know that from our history classes. Think about what we learned in history class, and then when we get out of school, all the knowledge we learned that actually contradicts a lot of stuff they teach us in history class. We still celebrate Columbus Day. Like, are you serious? So, I just feel like we need to get deeper, expand on it, throughout the year. Let's not just stop on February 28th. Let's keep it pushing. Like, you feel me? Intelligence is key. And
can I add one more?
Yes, sir.
I just want to add one more quick thing. Is piggybacking off what you're saying, is we have to demand it of our school system, right? We can't. We have to do it for our children, but some of us don't have kids, right? And then we have to do it for our community, but sometimes our community is bigger than just what's right in front of us. So we do have to demand it from the school system. We can't allow them to continue to just teach whatever they want willy-nilly. We do need to walk into those schools and say, hey, this curriculum needs to be modified, changed, or enhanced so that, we have the right information being given to our children. So we do need to, as a country, make that change.
Facts. You know what I mean? Look up some people, some other great historians. Look at Dr. Joseph Ben-Jehakinen, William Chancellor. You feel me? They just a couple of historians, Black historians. Aaron Carter G. Woodson, the founder of Black History Month. He was a historian himself. Read their books. Read The Miseducation of a Negro. You know what I mean? That breaks down exactly what Willie was saying about our schools. Like, we need to band better. And that's basically what he was talking about in the schools system.
Right.
Is the brother, Mr. Peterson, as his name is said?
Mississippi, I believe.
Well, I agree with what you. Yeah, I agree with what everyone said.
Yeah.
The things that you have to do, and I'm gonna tell you something else. Racism has evolved to things today that back in the 50s people wouldn't even recognize. Another thing, racism is not illegal unless you violate someone's civil rights. So what they call racist today about a person don't want you to date their daughter, that ain't racism. It's not violating nobody's civil rights. But when people put obstacles that prevent you from advancing yourself in any form or fashion legally, then it's a violation of your civil rights and it's wrong. And another point, you have to respect other people's rights, but that don't mean you got to accept them. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. The Klan got a right to march, but you don't have to accept the principles why they marching. The Confederate statues are statues of American soldiers who fought in many wars. So people are targeting them for one war that they fought that seemingly is unpopular, where they fought in the Spanish-American War, the Mexican War, which had not been won, then what we call the U.S. today would be entirely different. So we have to get away from this emotionalism and follow the substance of things that's designed to distract you off the point. Tax reform is good. If you married, your deduction is now $25,000 up from the $12,000. That's a good thing. Business taxes, 15% rather than 35%. We here on this air talking about what? Starting businesses. If your business tax is only 15% rather than 35%, you can't say that's not good. There's more money you put in your pocket, less money you have to go out and borrow. So we have to look at things for how we can take advantage of it. No matter who the president is, they all got a plan. You want to know what their plan is and see how it can best work for you and the agenda that you have laid out, no matter who it is. I mean, that's just the way it is. Anyway, y'all go ahead and carry on.
Thank
you for the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And dropping some knowledge.
Right. Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up, guys. We got 3 minutes.
All right, give out your information.
Well, you can text me at IamSunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. You can also look up my blog, unreservedlyme.com.
All right, it's your boy, Willie Styles. You can get me at Willie Styles everywhere, STYLEZ, WillieStyles.info for all my links. Thanks for joining.
Agent D Low, AGENTDLO at Twitter.
All right, y'all know y'all catch me on my blog at kingstruth.com, Instagram, kingstruth609, Snapchat at kingstruth. Catch us on gftradioshow.com. Catch us on YouTube at GFT Radio. You can catch us on iTunes, SoundCloud. Catch us on Twitter at GFT_radio. Sunny, give out our Teespring merch.
Yeah, check us out on YouTube and teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. Check out the new shirt. The thing is.
The thing is. That's really go-to line. The thing is.
Yes. Clint, what they going to do?
Catch us in 7 days.
Bye, guys.
Alex Haley wrote more than one book.
Holla.
You've reached the High Fashion Hotline.
Hi. My husband and kids just gave me an executive order. Stylish new outfits now. Where do I go?
Get to Old Navy.
Old Navy?
Yep, get up to 50% off store-wide during Old Navy's big President's Day sale.
Up to 50% off store-wide. I won't veto that.
Old Navy's fashion-forward jeans start at just $15 for adults, $10 for kids. And colorful fleece starts at just $15 for adults, $12 for kids at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. But hurry, the sale ends soon.
Well, just call me Shopper-in-Chief. We're going to Old Navy now.
High fashion, Old Navy. Valid 2/12 through 2/20. Select styles only.
When we take care of our own hearts, we're also taking care of the people closest to us. So it's comforting to know that RWJ Barnabas Health has New Jersey's most comprehensive cardiac care program with access to top specialists, minimally invasive heart surgery options, and rehabilitation and wellness programs. So get your heart checked. It's as easy as visiting rwjbh.org/heart. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.